Welcome back to the channel, y'all. If you've never been here before, just go ahead and hit that subscribe button and get right into the material with us. Check it out. Sean P. Diddy Combs, Diddy, Brother Love, whatever you want to call him, Puff Daddy, he is on trial right now. The trial hasn't actually really started, but the process has started by the selection of jury part of the process. It is said that it will take a couple of days for them to select a jury and alternate jurors, and then sometime around the 12th of the 5th is when they will begin getting into the meat of the matter. This is when opening statements will be laid out in court by defense and the prosecution, and the case will go full speed ahead. Right now, this is what's happening, and it ain't looking too good. Diddy's trial judge snaps at the lawyers for calling the prosecutors a six-pack of white women. Oh, shit. Why did they do that? A six-pack of white women. The judge had taken an offense to that. Now, at the end of the day, it's going to come down to the jury that they pick. They haven't been picked yet, so they haven't heard all this yet, but it's being publicized in the news, and I'm sure everybody is paying attention to it. So if somebody has any kind of racial bias, somebody could easily be on that jury and be like, yeah, they always play the race card. That's what a lot of racist people like to say when you point out that they're operating from a place of race. The first thing they counter with is, there you go again with the race card. But it is. Anyways, the judge who is overseeing this criminal sex trafficking trial and racketeering trial of Sean P. Diddy Combs sharply criticized a member of his family's legal team in a closed-door meeting called comments he made on a TMZ podcast outrageous. Now, I'm trying to say, if it was done in a closed-door meeting, why have they put it out to the public? And knowing that they have not even selected the jury yet. Like I said in my last video, right? I don't think they will be able to fairly pick a jury or pick a jury that's going to be fair, because everybody knows about this case. Everybody knows too much details about this case. Everybody has their opinions one way or another. We did a live discussion yesterday, and you had a bunch of people saying, free Diddy, I hope he beats the case. And you had a bunch of people saying, I hope he rots in hell. I hope they give him the max amount of time. And when I asked the people who were saying, I hope he rots in hell, I hope they give him the max amount of time, when I asked them, why do you feel that way about him? Why do you think he should be found guilty and be given a lot of time? And all they can say is, he's just a wicked man. There's nothing specific that they can say. So I had to remind a lot of people that Diddy done some shady things over the years. And we know this because groups like 112 or all the other people that worked with him back in the day, Mace and other artists, they have complained for years about Diddy living off of their publishing and taking away their publishing, their rights to their music when they were young and naive and did not understand the business, right? So that was foul of him, of course. And a lot of people watch some of their favorite artists go down the drain because Diddy took their publishing rights, even though they made hit songs back in the day. They weren't living like people who had hit songs. You know what I mean? So people have resentment towards Diddy that has nothing to do with the indictment that he is in court with today. Let's get that part straight. So in a Tuesday morning meeting in the U.S. District Judge Arun Subramanian's robing room, the judge screamed, shouted at the lawyer, Mark Geragos, for describing the all-female prosecution team as a six-pack of white women. Can I tell y'all something? One black man standing up in court, 6 white women prosecuting you, and your charges have to do with you sexually exploiting women. Oh shit. This ain't looking too good already. This is looking like a setup. So, quote unquote, when you say things on a podcast like 6 women, all white, my understanding is you've got a 6-pack of white women, unquote. Submaranian told Geragos, according to a court transcript of the meeting, like that's not something that you shouldn't, that no one should be saying as an officer of the court and as a member of the bar, right? Is what the judge said. Now, I'm stuttering because that's exactly how the transcript is read. Geragos, a criminal defense attorney who has represented Michael Jackson, has represented Hunter Biden, among other bold-faced names, spoke about the P. Diddy Combs case on a Friday episode of a podcast called Two Angry Men, a podcast that he hosts with TMZ founder Harvey Levine. The host of that podcast with TMZ founder Harvey Levine, in addition to describing them as a 6-pack of white women, Geragos said that prosecutors mischaracterized a surveillance video when Diddy was seen beating his former partner Cassie Ventura in a hotel hallway. Says that Diddy was upset because she took her phone. Now, have you ever had a situation where your significant other took your cell phone? Geragos said on the podcast. And does that take you from 0 to 60 like really quick? He said. He wasn't trying to justify what he saw. He was just saying natural human reaction. A lot of people, not that it's right, but a lot of people get super upset when you take their cell phone and try to run away with their cell phone, etc. We already know it was a toxic relationship. We already know that they were both cheating on each other at different times, etc. We already know they broke up and got back together, broke up and got back together. The funny thing is, every time Cassie and Diddy broke up, she never just stayed away. She went back to him. You know, so Submaranian admonished Geragos, the judge, went after one of Diddy's lawyers, Geragos, for that comment about the prosecutors, saying that he violated a court rule barring lawyers involved in ongoing cases from making extrajudicial comments about the case that is ongoing. Just by getting on that podcast and saying what he said, he has violated court rules. Oh, shit. They starting off bad already, y'all. So it marks a rough start for the legal team of Sean P. Diddy Combs in this case. Prosecutors have accused Diddy of abuse, sexual abuse, racketeering, trafficking for sexual pleasures, all of which Diddy has denied. You know, his attorneys, one of their defenses, listen, this man lived a life of opulence, a life of having everything he wanted at his fingertips. There was a lot of sex and drugs and stuff going on, right? Like most people who are in the entertainment industry, especially when they get in it very young and start making a lot of money and fame and all this. And he lived a life of a swinger. He had sex with multiple partners and had swinging parties where people had sexual encounters and all that. But what you're accusing him of, trafficking for sex and all this other stuff, he did none of that. Jury selection began this week, and the trial is expected to last up to about 8 weeks. Geragos, he didn't immediately respond to a request for comments from any media houses, how he felt about what the judge said to him, I personally would tell him, shut your ass up. Don't say anything else. You can make this backfire on your client if you're hoping to win this case. And I'm surprised that the other attorneys haven't told him, like Brian Steele haven't told him, sit your ass down and shut up. Now, until the Tuesday morning Robin Room meeting, Garagos's precise involvement in the case has been unclear. What is he doing there? He sat among the members of Diddy's legal team in the Lower Manhattan courtroom during the jury selection process on Monday and on Tuesday, but he has not formally filed an appearance in the court. Prosecutors addressed the ambiguity of his role in their letter to the judge on Tuesday morning. The letter pointed out to his podcast comments and asked the judge to stop him from continuing to speak about the case. This is crazy. You know what's crazy? They want to have him stop from speaking about the case, but nobody is stopping the media from speaking about the case. Nobody is stopping the media from airing every little accusation that comes along the way as if it is proof. Breaking news. Another woman accuses Sean P. Diddy Combs of rape and says it happened in his Bel Air mansion 4 years ago while she was serving him drinks. Breaking news. I mean, shouldn't they stop all those, though, so this man can actually have a shot at a fair trial? Anyhow, it was the prosecution that's paying close attention to the attorneys that are involved and went and snitched to the judge. Hey, judge, one of them was on a podcast with Harvey yesterday, and he said this, and he said that. Please get him to stop talking about the case outside. Now, in the Robin Room meeting, the same attorney, Garagos, said that he represents Sean Diddy Combs' mother and talks with the hip-hop mogul with great frequency. Garagos told the judge, Subramanian, that he believes that the rule forbidding extrajudicial comments has been perverted over the years and interferes with the right of defendants to receive a fair trial. And he is absolutely right. He also said that he has refrained from criticizing the lawyers who represent the women who have accused Diddy of sexual assault. I'm not talking nothing about their attorneys. And I think that when you've got a black man who's being prosecuted and the client feels like he is being targeted, it's an observation, the attorney said. And I think that this is ridiculous. When he said that, the judge snapped back at him and said, I think referring to the prosecution in this case as a six-pack of white women is outrageous. One of the prosecutors, Mary Slavik, said that Garagos' podcast had millions of subscribers and that his remarks could reach jurors in the case. You see this? So the prosecution been doing this from the beginning of Diddy's case, right? One of his podcasts had millions of subscribers, and his remarks could reach jurors in the case, as if the jurors in the case aren't going to be in court looking at them, seeing that it's 6 white women that are prosecuting a black man. I mean, come on, right? And then they have a problem with that. But they don't say anything about CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, all the news major networks that put these stories out about Diddy's accusations as if they are true, as if they have been found to be true or credible already, without him being able to defend himself against all these. And nobody is asking for any of those to be stopped. But yet they feel like if his attorney says something like it's a pack of 6 white women on a podcast, then that is foul and outrageous and might get back to the juries, or the jurors rather. Now, this TMZ podcast that Mr. Greg Geragos is a part of has several million subscribers, they said. Several million subscribers. She went on to say the danger of Mr. Geragos' statement infecting the jury pool, I think, is very serious. And again, I will say this. That was her comment. Here is mine. The dangers of everything they have aired about Sean P. Diddy Combs in major news networks have been doing nothing but infecting the potential jury pool. To this day, I'm still asking, where are they going to be able to find a jury of 12 who has not heard about this case in details, who has not heard many of the accusations, who has not formed an opinion, guilty or not? You have to assume in a case like this that all the people who are going in as jurors, once they're selected, they have already heard this damn case inside out, all the accusations. They've already formed their opinions, and they're going in with strong opinions, pretending like they know nothing or very little about the case. This is dangerous waters. Said it before, I'll say it again. I don't think P. Diddy can get a fair trial. By the judge submarinian allowing certain things, like he allowed for Sean P. Diddy Combs to not be shackled and handcuffed every time he comes to court again. That was a good ruling, because Diddy's attorneys argued that, listen, the law says innocent till proven guilty. Y'all won't even allow my client to get bail. And okay, we understand that. But does he have to come to court shackled and chained up, looking like Hannibal Lecter, like he's about to attack somebody? He is the worst human being ever, and he'll bite people's faces off. Can we not take the shackles and the chains off? Mr. Combs has never attacked anybody before, like this look suggests. And this might give a bad omen to the jury if this is how he's going to be shuffling into court, shackled and chained up. It kind of puts in their mind that he's guilty already. So the judge said, you know what? I agree. The next thing they asked for was for P. Diddy, Sean P. Diddy Combs, to wear regular clothes to his trials and not prison clothing or jail clothing. And the judge agreed to that too. And you would think this judge was being fair, right? Until that judge allowed the Cassie video to be shown in court. That's super damaging in front of a jury. And I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, I think it should be shown. I want you to understand this. That video has nothing to do with what he is being tried for today. Diddy and Cassie's case has already been settled between them. Diddy and Cassie's case is not a part of this case. What he did to Cassie in that hallway is not what he is being prosecuted for today. However, the judge has still allowed for that to be shown, which obviously is going to have the jury feeling some type of way. You could only imagine the reaction from the 6 white women watching a biracial woman be beaten by a black man, right? Not to forget that that tape is heavily edited and is said to be about 30 seconds of a 15-minute altercation. So we don't know what else happened that led to what. Not saying that any of it is excusable, but it would help to know the full story, right? You see a man hit a woman on video, you might not have seen the part where she punched him in the face first because she was upset because she just found out he was cheating on her, and now she is running down the hallway and he is running after her. All you see is him running after her and him hitting her back. Or you see the part where he hits her, but not where she hits him first. The possibilities. So I don't think that tape should be shown, but they're not going off what I think. You have one more listener for your podcast, the judge said. As long as you subscribe, I'm all for it. Getter Ghost re-answered the judge. Damn. So the judge said, from now on, I'm going to be listening to that podcast. I want to hear what it is you're saying on there. And if you're saying anything that you're not supposed to say on there, I'm going to penalize you in this courtroom. The lawyer said, well, as long as you subscribe, I'm all for it, Judge. He ain't scared of the judge. And again, he is not Diddy's lawyer. He is actually Diddy's mother's lawyer, but he sits in on the case to see what's going on with her son, so he can relay back to her from an educated standpoint what's happening in Diddy's case. Leave your comments in the comment section below. I'll catch you on the next video. You already know. Hit that subscribe button. I'm out. Peace.